Yes.
Yeah, let's start. My intentions are to, provide whatever support I can to this awesome working group and help a lot driving our reach out to new proposals and to hatchers. And I have 0 distractions. And I will pass it to Ivy.
Thanks, Sam. So, my intention for this call is to know about this forum praise system because it's on the agenda. So that's what I'm interested in, and I don't have any distraction. So I'm passing it to Zep.
Oh, thank you, Ivy. My intention for the call is, like always, keep being synchronized. What Ivy just say, I didn't read the agenda, but what Ivy just say, it looks interesting. No distractions. I'll pass it to Jess.
Hey guys. Intentions is just always a good time to like see where all of the proposal people are at, because otherwise, yeah, it's a great time to focus on this and anything needed from the comms perspective or planning, looking ahead a bit as I get more organized with my roadmap. And distractions, I have one more bite of lunch and I think I'll have to switch rooms because there's another call going on next to me. I will pass it back to Eduardo.
Thank you, Jess. The intentions for me is just to have a quick call and summary of the different points on the agenda. Hello, Jake. And then the distractions right now, I have none. So I will pass it to Jake that just joined.
Hello. Was there an intentions and whatnot? I'm sorry, I was a little held up. Oh, okay. Intentions for this call. Continue to look for opportunities to contribute towards onboarding, and how I can help with that. Distractions. I'm pretty busy today with Dow Rush. There's a lot, and other than that, I'm okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Meta Verde, welcome to the call. We are doing a round of intentions and distractions. If you want to participate.
Can you hear me? Awesome. So we're introducing, I just got on here. I'm with OneHive and I'm excited about Token Engineering Commons. That's all I got.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Anytime you need anything, you can just jump in. Livy, welcome. We are having a round of intentions and distractions. If you want to join, Livy.
Hello. Thank you. Intentions, just to catch up. I think I was a bit disconnected from the onboarding process this week, and just see how I can help understand everything that's happening. And not much distractions though.
Thank you, Livy. We regarding the proposals and the hatchers, I'm gonna leave it until Griff arrives because he has to give us feedback on some calls that we had. So we're gonna start one of the topics that is in the agenda for today, which is the forum. So I will explain this part of the forum. There are a few topics we can discuss about it. The easiest one is the one regarding the multiple messaging tool. I had a meeting with Chris on Monday, Chris from Forum, to talk about if there was like how complex the Forum tool was, and how easy it was to change the back end of the Forum to incorporate new things. He explained me the platform where the Forum is mounted on. It's a very simple one, and it seems very open to changes at anything that we wanted. It's just that the difficulty of the changes depend on the time you want to put on coding and stuff like that. So basically, one of the things that I asked for Chris was to find a way to have every time someone sign up for the first time to send a generic message to this, and also to be able to send messages to group of people. For example, so if we have people who has post on the proposal forum and we launch something new and we need these people to be aware, we can send them a message through the forum to all of them at the same time saying, hey, we have this, and kind of a notification kind of process. So we are digging into this and we will have a result by Friday, hopefully. Or we have a catch-up meeting on Friday regarding this. This is the easy one in theory. Then the second one option that we are talking about is the praise system for the forum. This is an open conversation because there is nothing really down to nothing written in stone. There were several things and options. Post count was the first one who was mentioned, but the forum system itself consider the post counting system as something not relevant. It in fact give more relevance to time spent read on something. So the forum works on a weird system of reading time that is public on the profiles. That's a very interesting point. I didn't consider it until it was pointed out by the same forum. That's another one, and there's other options that depends on the complexity of how it is to implement this, or which parameters do we all want to have as a praise system. The other options were, for example, to give praise only for certain posts in certain forums and so on. So I want to open the conversation regarding this. Livy and Jessica to bring feedback on this matter for us to keep working with Chris on implementation on this. So I will pass it on to Livy or Jessica.
I'm a little bit confused. So, you're saying understanding how we're gonna praise activity in the forum? Is that it?
Yeah, I'm curious to know if you have any feedback or any idea of what will for you guys who are working comms, and how do you see will be, and you have more time in this, how it will be adequate to do this system and so on.
For me, it feels like rather than take up time in this call, I think maybe what to establish in this call is an owner for this task. And I feel like we have like source credit implementation as a giant epic and project. And Matteo and Santi have been focusing primarily on the Discord implementation, but there is another potential implementation for the forum. So I think we should maybe ask them, are they willing to also own this as a project, and Livy as the overseer of the entire reward system, and gathering the proposals and feedback. Is that helpful for like a framing? For me, that's maybe like an approach, because we could go down a really wormhole with like identifying what to praise. So does that sound good to kind of break that off? And then Tamara can help to identify like who is owning it and get those issues broken down on the board.
Yeah, the main question probably I should put it in a better way. Do you think it's worth it? That's first of all, do you all think it's worth to have a praise system in the forum?
Olivia, was that you or?
This is
I was going to say something, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So let me say how we just started doing it manually. So Ivy is checking for everyone who has posted or replied on the forum. And as Eduardo explained, and I checked with Chris and also went into the admin back tool, there's no easy way to export a list of contributors who have posted. They have a number of different reports, but that's not one that's in their standard set of default reports. Perhaps that's something that we can customize, but that's for later. And the idea was that we will do this initially until SourceCred is up, and the implementation, the integration with SourceCred should take care of that, in which case we'll stop doing it manually. And in terms of the question of whether we should or not, I think engagement on the forum is extremely important for us, as we've sort of triangulated on that as our primary form of community communication. And that, of course, yeah, I do think that we should reward for people, that we should dish praise to people who have posted and replied to posts.
Jake?
Yeah, I think it's awesome too. And especially, yesterday seeing Santi's progress with source cred was really cool. Seeing how that went through and what it could offer. My only thing is with the forum, wouldn't we still need some obvious moderators? I mean, could you game it? Could you game it and allow to say but really, or they're commenting, or are they actually commenting? Could somebody actually gain that, and then the system's telling them, oh, this person's always, they're always, and then those impact hours are being rewarded to them, but really they're just gaining the forum.
Yeah, definitely that's a possibility. And I think that's part of the work of like what Santi and Mateo are identifying as like potential attack vectors and whatnot. So one other thing I was going to note that maybe Eduardo didn't know, I just wanted to mention that Jake is also owning the forum as far as like making sure the stuff, he's kind of like PMing, making sure the implementations get done. So maybe like Jake, you can like poke Mateo and Santi and like lead the charge for the forum part of it. But I think like Livia's kind of owning the entire reward system and like holding the discussions, if I'm not wrong, Livy. But yeah, just so you know, Eduardo.
Okay, so
Jake on the comms at least is like owning the platform.
I propose then that if you let me to explore the limitations and possibilities on on any kind of system that can be implemented into the forum, because we will probably have limitations, and based on that, I can give this feedback to Santi and to Livy, so you can actually, based on which limitations or which possibilities do we have, you can sort of co-create or help us to think about this system or parameters. I don't know if that works for you guys.
Yeah, there is a forum post that we're talking about this called Contribution Reward. I'll send it to you. And maybe it's better that all communication is there so we don't get... Can you guys hear me? I think connection is there.
Yes.
Your screen is frozen, but we can hear your audio fine. Okay, let me try again.
Okay. You were going to say something, Jake?
Oh no, I was just gonna, with what Jessica was saying, that that's absolutely fine. And then I don't have a problem. I can just go poke along and bark and moan, and then report back to Livia. That's fantastic.
Griff,
Okay, so yeah, sorry.
Griff, yesterday have an idea, because like the source code can be gamified. Like for example, if I start to create forum posts just for the sake of creating forum posts, the source code would reward me, and because that's automatically. And the idea that Griff had was like having like what source code takes, we take it to the price, and then humans quantify that, not like giving it the whole power to the app. I think that was a great idea.
Yeah, that's why I also mentioned the read system of the forum, that it's a native system that it has. Because one thing is posting 5 things, and one thing is actually reading through 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours. Like that's a whole different thing that it's way more, I feel, organic and harder to hack. We will still have to dig in how it counts the reading time to figure out how it's possible to hack it. But yeah, just to consider that option in on that part, that's also post, just to not be attached to the idea that post counting or commenting is the only option to give source credit. The system by itself, the forum by itself, has another system embedded that can be used parallel or considered. That's it. I think we lost Libby. All right. Is there something else regarding the forum, Evie, or anyone else that want to discuss about it?
Yeah, a lot of what got me involved with OneHive was getting like collecting pollen just for participating. And I think that forum participation is important because now I'm like in full time, right? You know, it's like all day, every day doing stuff for them. And I'm in BuzzDAO and doing all these things. But kind of what got me over there in the first place to keep coming back was like, oh, look, I'm collecting pollen. Well, that's interesting. Let's get a look at that. And I know it's really superficial. And I understand that like paying people for, like when you pay someone to do something, then they like quit doing it for love. But I haven't found that happening here. And I do think that rewarding for just participation is really helpful for getting new users and getting people to become involved.
Thank you so much. Libby, sorry that you were speaking. What were you saying?
Sorry, my connection is terrible. I think it's better now. Yeah, I was just saying that we've been having this discussion in the forum. It's called contribution reward. I will post a link here. And then maybe it's better to continue having in that channel so we don't miss anything. And it's super cool that so many people are excited about this subject. So I think the more participation we have there, the better solutions we'll find. And we can always separate time in the SoftGov call to talk about this too and continue coordinating with Santi and Mateo. So one thing that came up from our discussion yesterday is that next steps, we need to find out how to reward source cred. So are we like attaching that to the token, to the tech token, or we're gonna submit that as a proposal to Commons? And how are we gonna integrate source cred with the praise system? So those are the top questions that we have right now. And I'll actually update that forum post with the conversation we had yesterday, so it's all there.
Okay, so it's good for you if I keep posting there regarding what updates do I get from Chris. I just don't wanna like put information there and then get mixed and people doesn't understand. So like I just wanna be clear that it's okay for you guys if I keep updating everyone in that same forum post with everything I find out about this system with Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. All the help we can get around that, it's super appreciated.
And yeah,
Perfect.
so last thing was you mentioned the welcoming message, multi-message, and disclaimer update. Jake and I can take that. So I guess, Jake, are you up for like just asking Eduardo anything we need to know, and then I can help on the content side for that? And I added everything in the notes here.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm eating pistachios. Are you talking about the design thing?
No, this is different. Eduardo mentioned that he found out in the back end while he was talking with Chris that there's some options for like a general welcome message for when people sign in that they get a message notification or something.
Yeah, right.
So I guess would you mind creating issues for those and coordinating with Eduardo to figure out what we need to do for that, and then just poke me if you need anything content, but I'm sure you don't need me.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. Not a problem. I love to bark at people.
Yeah, so that, and the other thing we need to do is a disclaimer on the proposals regarding and Hatcher's templates regarding the legal stuff, or the disclaimer, or any disclaimer that needs to be added. We were due to do this week, Jessica. We can do a small work session, 30 minutes to do it, if that works for you.
Sorry, which one was that?
The disclaimer one.
You mean the proposal thingy?
Yeah.
We don't need a full work session.
Okay.
I can just take 5 minutes. Like I can just take 10 minutes and do it. It was an open tab that's there, but yeah, I'm gonna take care of that this week. It will take 10 minutes.
Thank you so much. All right. Is there something else regarding the forum that we need to talk, or we can close this section? All right, we are good to go.
Just an overall note that the forum I don't think has any issues except for that one. on the board. So I kind of feel like that's an ongoing epic. I don't know, Tamara, how we're handling those. It's kind of like a recurring epic or a recurring issue, I guess, to like update.
Yeah,
or...
it's the next topic in the agenda, which is our issues on GitHub. Mainly because I saw your message today, Tam, regarding there are not many issues for the onboarding group. And I added to this agenda to talk about it.
Sure.
Because I only created the one regarding working on the back end of the forum with Chris. That's the only one I added. I added yesterday, I think, or the day before yesterday, and I added also Evie to it. And I did it mainly for Chris and I to be on the same page. So yeah, I don't know how we handle this.
I don't know that there's anything to handle, honestly. For the onboarding working group, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about like issues as a focus for all community stewards in our community stewards meeting, which I think is the place to address it, since some of the questions you have, other stewards might have as well. There's, creating issues is just, one piece of work, one person assigned to it. And if there are multiple of those, then that are with the same theme, then you can bundle it up into an epic. The onboarding working group, according to the manifesto, I think, or at least now, has two major objectives. It's to bring projects in for proposals and to onboard hatchers. So there may be some things outside of that, but those are the two main things. So I don't think that there should be a lot of issues for the onboarding working group. You should just have, here is the epic, that is the project proposals, and then an issue for each one, like we discussed. And then as each of the proposals to go through the process of being a new issue, being assigned to a sprint, being in progress, and then being done. Each of those in the epic will slowly get completed. And that way we'll know that we've completed all the proposals. And the same for the onboarding of hatchers. We can either use the list to do the weekly checks, because the onboarding hatcher is a slightly simpler process than the onboarding proposals. With onboarding proposals, we're really holding the hands and offering guidance, maybe having multiple meetings over the course of 2 weeks with the people and the projects that we want to help guide to creating the best proposal for them to submit. And then for the hatchers, it's just a phone call. So it's about actually just saying, okay, it's on my calendar, and we've had this, 1 hour phone call. So if we just use that as, the recurring, it's on the onboardings working group board every sprint, and those are the two. And if those are the only two, that's the work stream, for that group. It's no, there's nothing wrong with not having a lot of issues in a working group. It's just that, you're very focused on those two things and getting those two things done. So it's good.
Perfect. Welcome, Griff. Yeah, I brought up this because I had this same thought regarding, for example, other little things like the forum and so on. So I'm like, and I see the work stream that since these epics are not, we talk about this in our session time about whether we create every for every issue we create, like for every proposal we create an issue, and for every hatcher we don't. Basically, that was the sort of road to go. So yeah, that was my only. I wanted to put it out there. So, Griff, we were waiting because I wanted to talk about the hatcher session that we had, and regarding the checklist of the proposal we do every week, which is the next point in the agenda. So how we had a meeting with Ravi. Do you have any other meetings besides him?
I had one with Rex, and I had one with Simon. I don't think I actually added Rex to the curate sheet, but
and Jay.
I don't know if Yeah, I had like, I don't know, maybe 5 meetings. There, everyone besides Rex is in the sheet, in the curate sheet, and our total soft commits so far is 77,000. So we're getting closer, and I think we've only talked to maybe 8 people.
Yeah, and I think it was also quite a weird time because people were actually away, and there's people who were actually like off. So yeah, it was. I mean, if we found this within this time, I think if we press the accelerator a little bit more and we focus in the next weeks, we will probably have way more results. What is your feedback with the other 3-4 meetings that you had? Or I don't know if you had ones with Jake or not, but like I want to hear like what's the feedback from those that I was not there.
Yeah, maybe Jake, do you want to start with your thoughts on the call with Jay?
Oh, it was fun. That was great. He was a great guy to meet. It was really just, it was cool because it really wasn't like, hey, we have this thing. We'd really like you to come over here. It was actually like a really fun conversation with someone. Yeah, I don't. What else to say? It went really well. I like Jay. I'd like to talk to Jay more. I did. He was cool. Other than that, yeah, it was really worthwhile. It went on quite a while. Griff did not abide to anything that we set up for him until like the last 3 minutes. So, but it was good. It was really good. And that's unfortunately that's the only one I've been able to get involved in it so far. I've been kind of busy, but it went great, and looking forward to another one. Especially because that's really not a lot of people yet, and that's a fantastic turnout.
Is there any interesting feedback from them or anything that we should consider that should go to the frequent asked question section?
I did write some of the questions down. I don't know. Did you get any of those questions from Jay's call at all, Jake?
Well, I haven't looked at that doc in a little while. I will state though that how to say, like, I'm sure that like, Ed and Tam, you sat in here and heard Griff's story. Like that was a big thing for Jay. So I think if we kind of have a concise understanding of the story, I'm using quotations too. I think that's a positive way moving forward. Because like Jay brought up too, he said that it's really evolved for when he first met Griff. And it was really complementary in what we were trying to do with the TEC and moving forward. And it was a big part in why he was encouraged to not just listen to Griff go on for an hour, but commit. It was really special to that extent. So I think, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll say that with Jay, I went a different route because I've known him for 5 years or something crazy, right? Like he helped me recover the DAO funds. So like I went more into like the common stack side of things than the TEC side of things because he's not so technical on the TEC stuff. So it's like, and this is something that I find is like different for every person, knowing who you're talking to and being able to just be like, oh yeah, you don't care about token engineering. You care about the common stacks mission. Okay, I'm going to talk about that. Oh, you don't care about the common stacks mission. You care about token engineering. Okay, let's talk about that, and just, really being focused on not so much the pitch, although of course these notes are incredibly helpful for me. The script notes are huge, but just to make sure I don't miss certain important points, like joining the trusted seed, the requirement to, so far, no one's had any challenges with the 450 membership fee, 450 DAI membership fee to the common stack. But it might also just because it's me. Yeah, and then remembering to ask about like who else should we reach out to as hatchers and what other projects should we reach out to? Those always come out with really good results.
Yeah, because Jay gave you like 3 names, didn't he, or 2 names for sure? And there's Ed and
yeah. And
sorry.
With questions, so I took notes and I found them finally. So Simon actually had some good questions about it. Like And also just some feedback, like of ways we could raise things, like it's being like being in the middle of like being like peer-to-peer grants, like Gitcoin and an ICO, being somewhere in the middle there, and so that we can coordinate the funding for these projects, and really just like talking about impact investment versus donation. And he really appreciated the small scope, like having the microeconomies side of things, where it's like, instead of trying to be like, oh, we're going to, grow to be the base layer Ethereum killer, it's like, no, we're just trying to do this very small scoped thing, he really liked that.
Yeah, I felt in the 2 calls that we had with you, Griff, the only thing that we were always forgetting was the asking for other contributors. It was the only common thing that we were having, because it's like we all get caught in the call and then we forget, oh, hey, do you know anyone else? And in the case of Ravi, he mentioned he was going to go back. He was going to text you later about people he will recommend you. I don't know if he did it. Otherwise, you just reach him out again to just ask him for these people if he remembers them. Regarding this call with Ravi, the other one I went to, it was the difference in between that call, probably the one you had, Jake, or you're probably more knowledgeable in that. But with this call with Ravi, it was a very technical call, so it was a little bit, for me, hard to track all the, like, I had to slow down a little bit to think and then to keep following, because it was a very technical, like, he's a system engineering guy, if I'm not wrong, and he spoke like an engineer. So it was a tricky call. But and some of these calls, like this one with Ravi, are the ones that I can understand why are you having them, Griff, now. Because before, I didn't understand it. Now I understand why you are present on these calls, because you really spoke the language of these people. I'm saying these people like they are weird, but they're not. You talk in the same level and the same language, and you do really know how to engage and how to pinpoint the interest of these people, because you know them so well. And that's something probably us, or me at least, that we don't know them yet enough. So I think it will be nice to do on board of a hatcher, that at least I can do some research in advance to know like a little bit more, so I can try to handle the conversation rather than giving you all the way to you. So that's one thing. The other thing that was really interesting from him, he made a feedback comment. Yes, he mentioned, he basically divided our public of the project in 3 people. He explained that he feels there is 3 kind of people who will participate: engineers, crypto interested people on governance, and the curious people. He basically, it's more a feedback for Jessica rather than for onboarding group, but he mentioned that these 3 layers of people will be the most probably public of interest that will come to us, to the TEC. So I found that interesting, and that's it. That's I think that's from this section of. He was not very he was not very confused about legal. He was quite clear about it, and the rest of the aspects he was pretty much on board with most of them. So it was a fine call, I feel.
I'm really excited for us to. I think a good starting point, because Eduardo, you've been on 2 with me. Tam, you've been on 2 with me. Jake, you've been on. Have you only been on 1? Just the J?
Yeah, because the other one you hit me up on was too early. I was wrapped up with that. Yeah, with the kids, it was too early. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So I would say we could start onboarding ourselves too. Like there's a lot of hatchers that are in this call right now, and we need soft commits. So it might be a good place to start with the people who are coming to the calls and start.
Tam, do you have any feedback from your calls? Sorry.
I did write some feedback notes. I was listening to the notes that Jake gave, which were awesome. I would have to go back to my notes. They were like you said, Eduardo. They were all really personal conversations and sort of catch-ups, which then went into the sort of the description of the why of hatching. But I have to say, both Phil and Neuron were both going to participate it before they picked up the phone, like, and I don't know that all people that we reach out to are going to have that same mentality. They're coming in knowing that they're going to say yes. And a few of the things that I thought were interesting with the Neuron is with Neuron from Panvala was there, there was a discussion around one of the pain points that Neuron was having. And in fact, it turns out that there might be something that they could propose to be a project to sort of help with that pain point for not just Panvala, but the greater community. So they both went well, but neither of them were particularly needed convincing and or needed to be, I think that they both came in with faith in, Group as a friend and the community and maybe what they've seen so far. So, yeah.
I think the one thing with Phil that you caught that was really good feedback for me was making sure to always paint the TEC in a positive light, right? Like I was like, oh yeah, and if anything goes bad with legal, and I started talking about bad things that could happen if the TEC fails, and I'm just putting this image in their head of like the TEC crash and burning, and that's not good. I think honestly after the call I was surprised at Phil's the amount being lower than I expected because he's already donated to the common stack, and yeah, I thought he would be down for more. And I think it's because I just put all these bad images like, okay, TEC is going to fail, like in his head, so
all right. Following a little bit that tone. Sorry, Jessica, were you going to say something?
I was just going to add one thing. I had a thought of like positive parts to share about the TEC community is, like you're saying, it's partially about what they've seen so far. And now that we have these incredible value adds of like free courses basically for TE labs, and now this conflict resolution training, we're seeing like all this interest that is engaging people. It's like always like that, when you offer something for free from your heart that like you've built and you're developing, then there's like a reciprocity there that people want to give back. And I think just pointing to like, we don't even have a token yet, and people are creating like all this value is coming out of the community. And also what Livy's been documenting with like Ostrom's principles, which I think most people are deep DAO folks and will resonate with them in why we had all these DAO failures. These are like the hardcore old school guys like with you, Griff, that have been around. So like, how are we doing it differently that it's going to succeed? Well, we're implementing Ostrom's principles, and look at all this amazing value that's being created, and we don't even have a token yet. So I think those are two other kind of points that you could bring up to share, like why this community has so much value and why, these people co-vesting is a no-brainer.
All right. There is another instances that you mentioned, Tam, that I think it's also relevant. We have spoken about people who already are saying yes before. How like, this is a very probably stupid question, but how do we if we for some reason found a blocker in a conversation with someone we are trying to onboard, and that person decides no, for example, she doesn't want to be part of the Swiss association for whatever reason she may have or he may have, how do we handle this situation? Do we tell them, hey, we're gonna get back at you if we find an alternative for you to solve this blocker? Do we keep the conversation explaining the entire speech, even if she has a blocker? Like, how do we handle this? Just in a general approach. It's an open question.
Well, I do think that most of the people who have bothered to fill out, like most of the people who we will talk to first will be, they know they're going to be yeses before we get in the call. I really do think that that's going to be the norm, because the people who have bothered to fill out our type form, I mean, just listen, type form's a little annoying, right? Like that they already want, if they're willing to do that for us, you know, like they're in. So I think most people will be like, oh yeah, I want to put in. I think a no would be like, I'll put in like $200 or $500. To me, that's a no, right? For most of the people who have, and yeah, and so what do we do when we react? We say thank you, and you know, I think we can let them go. You know, it's okay. We don't need to score everyone. Definitely don't bug them.
Okay, perfect. So, shall we move to the proposals updates and to see how we are on that? Do you wanna carry this part of the conversation, Jessica?
No, I actually don't have much to report this week. I have a call with Friday with Token Kitchen. Livy and I, we need to ping Disco again to set up a call. The main thing I was wanting to say was Sherman with Token Kitchen, she had a close friend pass away, and she has some huge thing this week, so she canceled for the presentation tomorrow. So I guess it could be okay to not have it for 1 week. I have already the 21st and 28th scheduled. I tried to ask them if they wanted to come sooner and they couldn't. So I don't know if there's anybody else or something you want to fill that space with, or if you have any ideas. Yeah. Stinks for the last minute cancellation, but it's also okay. I think.
Is there any chance Jeff could do Luna Swarm?
I think he has a Prime DAO presentation at the same time. That was my other thought. And I asked him, but I forgot to check back. He was going to look at when the Prime DAO was. But if not, I could try to pull him in just for that 10 minutes. Or, I mean, I could present it because I've been helping with like coordinating it. Or I could.
Who is there? Anyone else?
There's Luke and there's Z. And I pulled YGG. Like YGG is now gonna come and work on it. So yeah, I could ask Luke if he's willing to jump in for 10 minutes. Otherwise, I could see if Jeff. I gotta ask him when that Prime DAO thing is.
I haven't been able to participate in the DAO Rush, but is there potentially somebody from those presentations, like the book club, perhaps? I know it's such short notice because it's tomorrow, but maybe the DAO book club or somebody else along those lines. Jake, you might have some more insight on who might be good to reach out to, since I think you've been participating.
Maybe. It's all kind of been pretty much of a rush and a hectic thing anyways, just getting my own side ready for all of this. There is, I mean, I've participated in some of the others. I'm really excited for Badger DAOs later. And then, I'd have to look back at that slide again. I'm sorry, guys. And because the person I talked to, the Lex DAO was already going on this other one. There is, yeah, I think I have a few leads that I can try and talk to, but I gotta admit, it's been pretty busy and pretty sudden, you know, because I just did this over the weekend. So I'm kind of in that same boat. Yeah.
Try to get Jeff. I'll let you know as soon as possible. And Stuart's.
Sorry,
The
Livy.
book club is a good idea, but I just wonder if they are in the scope of the team.
What about Angela for TE Academy? I mean, I'm sure she could just show up, you know?
I could ask her, but yeah, I still think she hasn't. We have a call scheduled for next week. to like go through what she wants to propose and whatnot. So I don't think she knows kind of what she's asking for. But I'm looking at Jeff's calendar and it looks clear, but I'll just double check and then get back ASAP after this meeting to try to get that spot filled. Only other update was, LeapDAO. They are in the process of submitting their proposal, so we should have another one on the forum soon, and they're presenting on January 21.
Perfect. Jake, I wanna propose, if you are willing to probably do a 2-tag team and set up a small kind of once a week meeting to like check this list, probably on Mondays or something like that, or weekends. I really don't care. But just to pick a time where we can tag team this list, and because I really feel the need now to like press accelerator to onboard more people on the proposal section, because everyone has coming back from holidays and so on. So I think it's probably the best time to do it. I don't know if you are willing to, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I'd have a problem with that. I just whenever we're gonna meet, I mean, I am a little busy with some other things going on with Wes and YGG, but that's okay. No, I can figure out something for you. We can work on this. That's fine. The person I was talking about is an Elastic DAO. But I gotta get back in touch with her too. Anyways, yeah. Just hit me up in Telegram or something. We can work out a time on a day during the week you want to meet.
Perfect. Someone else has any other updates regarding the proposals?
The Spirit Foundation, I talked to YGG because Alex said he would need his support since it would be like the models that they would be submitting, and they said they are coordinating between each other, but they didn't give like a due date yet. I'll ping them again.
All right, thank you. I think that's pretty much all on this. Oh, there is this this mention here, which is Discord onboarding needs owner. Can you explain a little bit further, Jessica? I think it's you, the one who wrote it.
I was just noting something before I forget. Yeah, so the Discord, I went with Tamara through the new Discord Epic and broke it down into issues, and there are some that are comms, and there is this issue, which is the onboarding journey and flow. Just want to ask for somebody to kind of own that task. And Chris is handling it pretty well. I think it's maybe as easy as replicating what he's doing for the common stack for the onboarding, but it could also be different for TEC. So I was just asking and putting it out that this is an onboarding task, so it needs an owner. Doesn't have to be in this meeting, but just that we have somebody that's gonna look out and kind of own that, seeing how that flow is. And yeah, again, like we have cool examples. OneHive does a fantastic job at this with the bots. I also took some of their templates and put it in it's kind of a mix of like, we want to reward people as they go through the onboarding journey and what we want that to look like. So just somebody to own that, go and coordinate with Chris, see what he's built already and any changes that we need to make would be great if somebody can take that on.
I can take a look at it. I'm just sorry, this is a blown question. What you want like a guide for people who arrive to Discord and to walk them through how is the distribution in Discord and where are the channels and so on? That's basically what we need.
Yeah, and Chris has built something already for the common stack, so you can look at what he's done there and then how we might want to improve that for the TEC side. So I don't know, Metaverde, if you'd be up for supporting on this, because I've seen how like what worked really well in OneHive, and maybe we can incorporate some of similar. And part of it is also with bots. Like for example, in OneHive, when you join, there's a channel where you can put like your name, your discourse, and your Discord, and then the source cred will recognize you, and there's a wallet address, and you can receive the rewards or whatnot. So just somebody to work with Chris on that onboarding flow. So inside that task, I also put the Miro board where we onboarding journey with Livia and SoftGov several weeks ago. So just making sure, like how we did with the forum, Eduardo, with the welcome section and like that flow, that we can get something really nice for Discord. And it can be just like a simple first iteration, and then we can work to improve that.
So work with somebody on developing the onboarding flow? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, specifically for the Discord.
Right.
And you wouldn't be on your own.
Yeah.
Like maybe Eduardo and I work together for the forum. So we just need people to take this on for the Discord.
I would really like to do that. I actually need to learn more about our onboarding flow because I'm always onboarding people, right? And I would love to do that.
Okay. Can we add then she and me to the owner of this issue, so we can have a call later if that's okay for you, and then we can do this onboarding for Discord.
Are you asking me?
No, yeah, but I'm telling Jessica or Tam.
I would like anything, like if you could DM me specifics on where I need to be and what I need to do. I will love to do it. But I have like so much to track right now.
Yeah, it's okay. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Tam or Jessica, I don't know who created the issue. So just assign me.
Yeah, so I'll assign you, and then if you just want to sync with Chris, and if you haven't been already invited, he already invited me to the common stack, so you can go through the flow, and then you can just let him know if we could want anything different. But yeah, I don't want to bog down Chris too much and make it too complex for this first iteration, but at least having something for when we migrate to the new design.
Yeah, I will meet him anyways on Friday for the forum, so we will do 2 times 1 basically. Okay, I think that's pretty much all for the agenda. I don't think there is nothing else missing. Is there something else anyone wants to bring to the table?
I just a quick question there, because I was just looking at the end of that agenda. Is the CStack token DApp really 2 weeks out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it works right now, but we'll do internal testing with the Common Stack team, and then it should be done. Once, and then there'll be revisions from that, and then it'll be done.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Yes,
just
Jessica?
sorry, one last note I forgot with the proposals. How do we feel like we're doing on that? I know for sure LeapDAO is submitting. I know for sure Token Kitchen is submitting. So what does that bring us to, like 7 or?
Yeah,
I'm just wondering, like, how are we doing overall, and like, do we need to do anything for those efforts?
Yeah, we are
reach wider.
We are a little bit behind on it. That's why I was asking for Jake's help on pushing a little bit forward and contacting these people, the ones that are in the list, and the more proposals we can get. It was, for me, these past weeks were probably complicated to reach out people for submitting proposals, at least for me. So that's why, since I have seen what has been posted, I know we are behind the schedule, so I'm aiming to onboard more proposals this week and the next one. But I will need a little bit of help with that, so that's why I was reaching out.
Yeah, and I can definitely help with that. And tomorrow, I mean, like later today, I have Badgered out, and I'm going to say something again, anyways, just because why not? But tomorrow, I also Elastic DAO and Metacartel. So I'm going to reach out to both of them too. So that's a potential, maybe.
Thank you.
Sounds good. And also, I was going to say one last thing on that. So yeah, I'm counting with the 3 that I'm doing. That brings us up to 9, and then I know other people have other ones on the table. But once we get our CRM set up, we can do an email campaign as well to solicit proposals, because that is reaching a wider. Like right now, it's just been like kind of in our small circles, but if we expand that out to the whole like Trusted Seed, there's a few hundred people there, and they are all working on projects. So maybe I'll do one more promotion in like the Common Stack Telegram, I did do a tweet the other week. I'll like do another tweet and I'll put it out in like Common Stack and a few other channels meantime, and then maybe we can do an email campaign once we get that back end sorted for like February, like a big push if we're not up to 20 or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other aspects that I wanted to bring to the table at some point. Was not intended to make this call, but to eventually the people who listen to this call, if you are in different Telegram groups or different people, we can just create, Jessica and I, probably an onboard generic message like the one you mentioned for the Common Stack Telegram that we can outreach. It could be sync with the mailing list campaign that you want to do, but to have this network of us put at use for people who may have projects and they just don't know where to put it, or they don't know about us, or they just have forgotten about us for whatever reason, and so on. So I think it could be an easy way to just copy and paste. So yeah, but I was not for probably next week, not for this one. Yes, Griff, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to encourage you and Tamara to pick some friendly faces to get soft commits from and check in on what they're thinking for the hatch, answer any questions that they have, see what questions they ask. Probably just, and I think, or anyone else, just friendly faces, people that you know, is this way to start. Whether they're in this community or not, doesn't matter, but hopefully they're on the list. I don't know if you guys want to try to, I'm definitely going to try to grab 2 or 3 more this week. And at least schedule some calls.
Yeah, I would probably tell Lorenzo.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Do Lorenzo. And oh, sorry, Craig, you're just. Oh.
Hi.
No.
Can you guys hear me?
Actually, we can't. Barely.
Just barely.
Dude, the helicopter's outside, man. You're in trouble.
He's got his Bitcoin helicopter hat on too. Oh, it's better now. I was gonna say, does anyone else want to come with me to more of these calls? Like, who else? I have one. Jake, you want to go with more tomorrow? Yeah, Olivia, you want some? Craig?
Yeah, I definitely will go on more.
Okay.
You just can't hit me up at 6 a.m., dude. You're with 2 little kids. That's like the worst.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not happening.
I know. I like the helicopter analogy.
I think we should bring him to more onboarding calls. So, oh yeah, here he goes, the chopper. Here's the TEC. We're ready.
Okay.
All right. So, is that all? Yes. Are you okay now, Craig?
No. Now we don't hear you at all, Craig.
But yeah, Eduardo, I just shared that tweet with you. So I can retweet that again. We can alter the content a little bit and then blah blah blah.
Yeah, we can
and I shared
develop
an
it.
onboarding channel.
Perfect. We can develop it in together on sync. It's okay. All right, guys. So thank you so much for coming. It was quite a on-time call. So I will reach out everyone else who I have just mentioned that I will reach out. And see you soon, hopefully. Bye-bye.